Welcome to the RNR Dust Stuff podcast where the retro computing, gaming, and hobbies collide.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of R&R Does Stuff. We are here to tell you about what we've done. How are you doing this evening, Rich?
Ryan, I'm always great to be back in the studio. I wish we were doing one of our rolling podcasts and hanging out, but we'll do it remotely today.
Yeah, this is definitely a remote one. This is really the first one since the Texas mayhem, right?
That is correct. We have all survived, and I don't know when this drops. You know how life is, but Thanksgiving's over. I think we both handled Thanksgiving. I think we both got a little sick, and we are back at it. So we had a little downtime, but of course, retro things happened.
Sure.
Because when I'm sick, I want to play around with my retro stuff. That makes me feel better.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. You got to play with this stuff a little bit,
Dude, what's been on your bench? What's been on the bench, off the bench, back on the bench? Any hardware? I've been a little hardware light myself.
Yeah, I was planning on being hardware light and moving more into some software stuff. But before I left for vacation, for the Thanksgiving vacation, my Amiga 2000 was giving me weird messages when it was booting up. I was getting some alerts saying, hey, I can't find the hard drive cylinder number.
What?
And how many sectors and tracks. But it was booting up. It's just spitting this out in like the console.
Question. Do you have a hard drive in it, or are you doing one of the blue SCSI SD card, micro SD, whatever?
Well, as far as the Amiga is concerned, it's a Zulu SCSI in this one. The Amiga has no idea. It thinks it's a SCSI hard drive as far as it's concerned.
But it's not real. It's not like a real hard drive in there. It is a emulated hard drive.
Yeah, it's the blue SCSI with the SD to SCSI adapter. I have some SCSI hard drives on the shelf. I've pulled as I'm going through my machines, I pull the real drives out and put the SDs in there. They're faster, they're more reliable, they're easier to deal with, and they use a lot less power.
And that's what I was doing. I was thinking, do you have an old hard drive that's finally croaking? Okay, go back on. All the errors are telling us the hard drive's croaking. So we know it's not an old hard drive.
Right. So I'm like, what's going on here? And so it was booting. So it would throw this error, or it wouldn't even throw it. Wasn't really an error. It would put it there. It would hang the console. So when the Amiga boots up, it has a startup sequence. And it's going down through all the stuff. It's spitting this message out, which it normally goes through that pretty quick, and there's not a message. And it just sits there for a while. And it wants to the Amiga wants to, reset the resolution to what I have set to for Workbench. And it goes, hey, can you close this window so I can reset this? That'd be great. And it would do it. It would pause a little bit while it's done doing whatever it's doing, and then it would reset the window. I'm like, well, it's working. I don't know what's going on. I guess I'm dealing with this when I get back. So we fast forward a week. I got back. I'm like, what is happening? So I popped the SD card out, copying the HDF files over to another SD card, putting it in, and now the SD card's not booting at all.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
That's a major escalation.
Yeah, I was like, what's happening? So I'm like, why is this not working? And I'm, all right, fine. I guess I'm taking the top off because, it's a vintage machine. You got to take it apart way more than you want to, but you do because sometimes things just need a little bit of care. I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. So I've got a GVP SCSI card in it. Great, awesome SCSI card, love it. And I'm like, well, what happened? So while I'm in here, I popped the GVP boot ROM off it. So there's a little auto boot ROM on it. It loads in the memory, so when the computer boots up, it can execute some code and then boot off the hard drive. So a while ago, I had bought some new ROMs, and I found the latest GVP ROM file for it. So I burnt that onto a new ROM, put a little sticker cover over it, put that back in to see if that would help. Like, well, I have version 4.5. The latest one out there is 4. 15. Cool. Same answer. So I'm like, what is going on? Why did this just quit working?
The
I hadn't had to.
puzzles never stop.
I don't know. I haven't had the 2000 on in a while, so I'm like, what's going on? And in the meantime, right before all of this, I have an HDMI to RGB in my 2000, but mine is different. I'm not putting it in the video slot. Mine's
Ah,
more like yours because I have a video toaster in my video slot, so you can't put two things in one slot, right?
yeah.
So I still lift up the Denise chip. I have this little board going on and a cable coming around, and it was going out the back to plug into the Pi and the RGB to HDMI. It's like, no, this isn't gonna. I don't want. I want an all-in-one. So I designed a little bracket. Well, someone had a base bracket, and I put a little hole in it for the button thing, and printed out a slot bracket and screwed in the HDMI on the back and this button thing on it. I'm like, great, this works fine. And I have it all mounted in there, and it's still in a little plastic box. It's just zip tied inside. Great. So I figured I messed something up with that. Wonderful. So I'm looking around, I'm taking stuff out, and I'm starting lifting the network card out and starting to take cards out so I can like isolate. Same problem, same problem. So it doesn't matter what's in there, what's going on. I'm like, what is happening? I put the other SD card back in because I didn't do that first because that would have made sense. Boots up with this error. I'm like, what? And then now the next couple hours are going down a rabbit hole of 2 hours later, and
Whoa.
at least, and I'm like copying the hard drive file back and forth, and it's not working on the new SD card. What is happening? Then I pull through my collection of SD cards. I put it on a different SD card. That one works fine. So that particular SD card was not working with the Zulu SCSI. Don't know why. It's like a name brand. I think it's like a Samsung micro 32 gig micro SD. No idea.
That's
Not a
all it
clue.
was?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. The only thing I can think of, Ryan, is, dealing in the collab world where we had to do a lot of little cards and other cards, with digital signage players, you would often put in the little micro SD. We had to be very careful because there was a point that there were so many fakes on the network, even though we're purchasing from reputable dealers. The reputable dealers were getting in stock crappy cards that weren't what they really listed they were. You bought them, you put them in players. I remember we would buy batches and you could see that there would be 5 out of 50 that just didn't work inside the quick sign player or inside the digital signage player. And it was like, okay, that's just part of the game. Maybe there was something there like that. I don't know.
I don't have any idea. So that got the Amiga booting again. I still have this error message. And then I'm digging around into the DOS. So I'm like, well, okay, now I'm at least back to where I was. So like a day and a half later, I'm like, what's going on? So how the Amiga works, it's their kind of DOS driver, all kinds of different drivers for different things. So you just drop the thing in the appropriate, is it a DOS disk? Is it, or a DOS tool, like this, like a printer, you put it, a graphics, a display, you put it in the right spot. And when it boots up, it looks for everything in each one and then starts loading them. And a lot of these are just text files that say, hey, this is how you set it up. This is the actual driver you go look for and go do it. And I had something in there for when I was playing with my zip drive that I was copying one of the text files and I just called it zipfat.orig because it was for the fat formatted of the zip drive.orig. It was trying to mount that, and it must have been one where I was playing with settings and I removed some of those cylinder definitions and other things out of it. So it was trying to mount that and goes, well, I don't have these, I can't do that, and spitting out this error. So there really was nothing wrong other than the human error that I left a file in a spot that I shouldn't have left.
Okay, question. This is the audience because I always represent the audience.
Oh yeah,
They
yeah,
don't
definitely.
know something, right? Is
Yeah.
this like the BIOS on older DOS machines when we actually had to put in some information about the drive?
It's after the BIOS, so there's not really that concept with an Amiga. It'll boot up and go look for things. The BIOS would be the auto boot disk or the auto boot ROM physically on the SCSI controller. The one that I upgraded and had to burn the ROM. This would be saying from a modern thing, if you're a Windows user or whatever, when you actually put in a piece of software that says use this graphics card driver, we're at that stage. We're not at the BIOS level. We're a level up.
Got it.
And it's jump starting, kickstarting, Amiga World's Kickstart. So it's kickstarting, getting everything ready to go.
So maybe more like config.sys.
Sure.
In the PC DOS world. And by the way, I'm gonna have to learn all this too. I'll sneak preview that I got all the Amiga parts in. Now I'm not ready to work on the Amiga, but I got all the parts in to do the work from when you were here. So I'm getting close, Ryan. And I love the fact that you grabbed a bracket that was online, maybe Thingiverse, wherever you found it, brought it into Blender, or what tool were you using?
I use Tinkercad.
Okay, Tinkercad. I need to look that up.
It's a web page. It's a free web thing.
What?
I imported the STL. I used the negative because I was trying to add an HDMI bracket because there was already. Let me phrase that. I think it had the HDMI bracket in it, and I was trying to add the hole for the button to go through it. Because I wanted the HDMI bracket to come out, and then that single button, so I could flip the settings on the HDMI if I have to. Normally, you don't have to after it's set up. As long as your monitors aren't really changing much, it stores it all.
Well, I am going to hold on to Tinkercad. I have printed materials to use on my next project. Okay. But I don't know if they're going to fit or how well they're going to work. I may need to adjust. Yep. Now I have an easy way to adjust. So that's awesome. Yep. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, I took a PC. It's just a standard slot in the back. It's a big box Amiga. And those little buttons, they're 7 millimeter long. I was measuring them. And you just use a negative cylinder, made it 7 millimeters, push it over where it is, and that piece is gone. It won't print it. And then just go print.
That's cool, dude. I know I got my printer set back up.
Good.
My daughter has been printing some anime figurines. Ooh. I obviously printed some Amiga stuff, and I printed out some other utility things. And I think I got something I'm going to do for Christmas for the fiance. So I got a little Volkswagen project that I want to print out for her. So
that's awesome.
Little pen holder that looks like a little Volkswagen. You know what I mean?
Cool. Yeah,
so it'll be neat. That's all off topic. Great to hear it's back up and running. That is great. And I saw another note that you wanted to come on to the special segment we have called "What Stupid Shit Did Rich Buy?" And
I did. I mean, go ahead. I mean, what
is it? Is it stupid shit you bought, or did you buy something good?
It is cool shit that Ryan bought.
Oh, let's hear.
All right.
This is when I'm glad we have video so I can see what's going on. And let me see if I can verbally help the audience with this image. Dear listener. Oh my gosh, Roguecraft. You got to hold that closer. I can't read the little thing under there. A punch game, the Dungeon of Workroom awaits. Where is this from? I haven't run into this.
This is a brand new Amiga game.
Oh, how incredibly cool.
This just came out recently. The final version was released digitally a few months ago from this recording. And I finally got my physical box set. I bought one of the box set because they did a limited run of a box set. So this is the box. I'm going to open it up. I briefly looked. I did not look in depth. So this is kind of new to both of us.
Oh my gosh, you're doing an unboxing.
We're doing an unboxing on a podcast. Because you know how I roll.
Yes, that is how you roll.
So this is an unboxing. It's a brand new. We'll find a link here and put it in the. Oh, Rich already did.
That's
I
my
have not played it yet. I definitely need to.
that's my job, dear listener. As we talk, I put things in, and I sometimes forget to take my keyboard clatter out, so you might hear it sometimes.
It's still in the little bubble wrap that it shipped in inside.
Ooh, that's a really, by the way, incredibly sturdy box. That
Oh,
box has longevity added to it. This is not your standard Zork box like, the Infocom, like inserts. This is a solid rockin' box.
got a bookmark.
I'm going to call it a bookmark because people buying this
Yep.
probably still use books. Oh, wow. Killed by Chicken.
Which is pretty cool. Let's see what's inside the bubble wrap here.
Oh, you can hear that.
Oh, this is cool. We have. This is the. I don't have a CD32, but this is the CD32 disc.
Oh my gosh! So they
Yeah.
made it a booting game for the Amiga CD32.
Yep, here's the disc. It says
Wow.
Amiga CD32.
Very classy too. All black with the Roguecraft and that orange, red, whatever, green. I don't know. Very nice
it's black.
stylization.
We have a manual. Remember when games came with
manual? What are you talking about?
Tells you how to play your different characters.
Dude.
Yeah, what do the potions do? The different colored potions are in there.
That's amazing.
Pickups, how to get started. Well, they have an ad for a different game that they've done, Solenoid, which I heard was really good, but I have not played it yet.
Oh my God. Still developing new games for the Amiga, still selling new games for the Amiga. That is crazy.
Yes, definitely. There's a sticker, which I actually don't know what that is.
I have a feeling.
It's a person.
Oh, it is. It's kind of one of those reverse, not reversed image where you kind of see it. Remember the one that you can look at this picture and you either see an old lady or you see a young lady? It's that same kind of concept.
Yeah, definitely. There are 2 postcards.
Oh, nice. Legit, real postcards.
Yes. And the coolest thing, a floppy.
That is beautiful, everyone. It's like the disc. It's all black. It has a very nice matte black where the diskette is. But then the label has that shiny black showing Roguecraft. That is incredible.
Double-sided disc, pretty awesome.
Had you already downloaded the ADF, or does it come with the download capability?
No, when I got it, they sent out the digital version first.
Oh, nice.
And then this came like 2 months later. It's out of Europe, so it took a while to show up.
And it's in great condition. How was it packaged to get here?
Very well. It was
See, I knew that box looked like you bought it at a store down the street.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. So it's actually super cool. I've had it sitting here for a while.
Wow.
And not telling you about it. Oh, it also came with.
And dear listener, I want everybody at home to feel really good that Ryan actually opened the box. Oh, that looks great. A little, remember we used to get those posters that were 11 by 17. That's kind of what we just looked at, was a poster that was 11 by 17. Really nice. You would pin that up in your room from your magazines or whatever.
Right.
And obviously, mine were all computer related on my wall.
Mine were too. I got a lot of stuff over the last month. I subscribed to 2 Amiga magazines.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I subscribed to 2.
Physical print magazines.
One I buy physical print, the other I buy as digital. They do have a physical print version, but I buy the digital version. So the digital version is called Amiga Addict. And this month, with it, there's a Santa game that came with on the disc. So if you get the digital version, they give you a place to go download the disc as well. and I haven't looked at it yet. It came, I think it just came out a couple of days ago as of this recording, or last week. I got it over the Thanksgiving Day weekend. So that came, and then in my mailbox when I came home, I've got Amiga Future.
Oh,
I have not opened this yet.
You know, that's always, you know, I'm still a Alt 2600 subscriber. So they do quarterly now. And
Okay.
so every quarter, it's like I get a nice little surprise. I get a print magazine that I can sit down on the couch and just kind of, and Alt 2600 is much smaller. Oh, here, I have a copy right here, Ryan, to show you how small it is. See how small it is compared?
They remind me more of RPG Zines, the little Zines.
Very Zine size. And Amiga Future, is this based out of Germany?
This one is based out of Germany.
Okay, I found their website and it's in German. I can tell you that.
There's an English thing there for it as well. They are reviewing Roguecraft on the cover of the.
Oh, that's perfect.
Which is, and amongst other things, the Amiga Addict, they're reviewing FPGA devices this month, and Amiga Future has a physical CD.
Ryan, why am I gonna have to get these? Why did you show me this? This is like when you send me Humble bundles and I get mad at you over text and then I buy them anyways. This is exactly the same thing. I'm now going to be getting Amiga, one of the magazines. I'm not too sure. And I need to find a Commodore 64. That would be a fun surprise every now and then to get a new current magazine.
Yeah, these are averaging about every other month is what I'm seeing. I'm behind reading them. I'll read at least one article out of it, and then life happened, right?
Yeah.
And so I need to go back and do some stuff. The Amiga Future, good or bad, is print only. The Amiga Addict is print and or digital. So it's a little cheaper because Amiga Addict, I believe, is out of the UK, where Amiga Future is out of Germany. It's a little cheaper when they're not physically sending me paper. From the UK.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I think I might do the one out of Germany just for giggles. I might do that and see how it is. And of course, 1 year subscription, and then I can change over to the other one if I'm interested. And I'm sure they have all the back issues for download.
They do. I bought a disc that had all of them up to a certain point at one point.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good way to do it.
And I think they have them as not PDFs, but you can go to a page and click the next page. Anything older than, it's like 3 or 4 years old, they'll actually start posting back issues online so you can read them online as well.
Kind of that EPUB, however that works. I don't know how that's magic to me when they do the little page flipper thing. It always looks cool though.
Yeah, there's not a way to download the PDF, but there's a way to go to their website and actually see things. So yeah, I bought a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You've been
outdoing me, man. You've been outdoing me. My stupid shit, and the thing I bought wasn't necessarily stupid shit, but then the end of the event was.
Oh, no.
Of course, you introduced me to Whatnot. Thanks, Ryan. And
how are those speakers?
What?
How are those speakers?
Yeah, these are better than the speaker purchase. But I'm on Whatnot, and there's a guy I follow called Retro Rick Game Point, I think it is, and he does a YouTube. And I love retro games too, right? I love retro game systems.
Wait a minute, is that the guy that has the game store that's always posting?
Yes.
Okay, I have seen him.
I've seen his Conroe, Arkansas. So someday I'll stop by because it's not that far away. So one day I'll stop by. So he's doing a Whatnot. I knew he was up to do a Whatnot. I always go in and kind of look through for anything Commodore related. And they had an Atari Wilco. Did I say that right? Wilco, WILCO, joystick. Really nice in a box, which, I'm a sucker for a box. It's in a box. And so I looked on the internet. I kind of saw the high price, low price, that kind of deal. And I said, I'm going to bid on that. So it comes up and I win. And so great.
Awesome.
And I'm just hanging out then, wondering, watching and stuff. And so I got that. Another thing comes up. How many was it? I think it was 44. Yes, it was that joystick right there. You just brought it up. Ryan just showed me the joystick over on his side for the Wilco. And it's a great looking joystick, a little button on top. You know what I mean? It's red, black, has the Atari plug-in. So I think it's going to work on the 64. I need to test it.
Oh, yeah. It'll work on the 64. It works on the Amiga.
Oh,
These is not my original ones. These are a pair that I bought on eBay a while ago. But this is the joystick I grew up with.
Oh, isn't that
This is what I had as a kid and played the heck out of it.
Mine kind of had a gun handle and had suction cups on the bottom and a little stick.
That's a slightly different version than this one, but the same manufacturer. And that trackball you gave me when you bought your collection of stuff is from the same manufacturer.
Well, they're hardcore. They're good. So I got that. Great. All of a sudden, this lot of Wii games comes up, and I think it's like 44 Wii games.
Holy mackerel!
You what?
Wow.
Yeah, 44 Wii games comes up, and my daughter and I have a planned video where we take 2 Wiis and make 1 Wii. I have her original old one, and I have one that I'd gotten through a series of unfortunate events, but I got it. So we're going to move the good CD into the bad one, or into the old one, because the old one is the one she used growing up. And it's been homebrewed. I homebrewed it to play ROMs. So it'll do ROMs and it'll play discs. We had 1 disc. So when I saw that come up, I thought, 44 games, I'll bid $1 a game. And so I got to $44. Well, then we get to $60. I'm like, I'll go $2 a game. I think I ended up at $2.10 a game or something like that, and won the lot of Wii games. And then at this point, maybe Ryan, I had a couple beers.
I was gonna say that's normally how that goes.
Then an NES came up, and it was at like $55. And I went, it came with a game, had the controllers. And I'm like, $55. I'll give you 60 for that. And I bought it. And so it was almost like my thought process. Well, that seems way too less. I need to make them drive the price up. So I'll put a bid in for the next person to buy it at a more regular price. And no one buys it. So I ended up with an NES for like 60. Oh, I think I got the joystick at $30, which is $5 less than online and $5 more than the cheapest one I saw without a box. You know what I mean? It was right there in the middle. So I felt it was a good purchase.
That's not bad. Yours had a box. Mine did not have boxes.
Yeah.
Because you know me, I don't care.
You got 2. You got 2.
I got 2.
You got 2. I got 1. And I need to see if it works. I hope it works, and just like those Wii games, I don't know if they work, but we'll find out because I'm going to surprise my daughter with them. We're going to do that project. And then at the end, I'll say, by the way, I got this. And I'll give her a box of 44 games to go with it.
Dear listener, I'm going to go off the rails a little bit. I am curious what games you got. So we will have to talk afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
At a time that can be covertly possible.
I'm doing my opening video tonight where I test the joystick and
nice.
I look at the stuff. So I'll know for next episode a good rundown. They, of course, were showing them and they had some good ones. And of course, they're like, oh, Bakugu, this goes for $20 easy. They were dollar game, $10 game. So, according to them, there's no investment loss in this idea. They were just moving stock is what I bet they were doing.
From what I can tell, he goes through a lot of stuff. That's his business plan.
Oh, yeah. It is amazing. Okay.
Anyway.
Crazy stuff we picked up.
That's awesome.
Think we talked about a place where you're not allowed to buy and sell anything that you went to the other day.
Well, not only did I go to, I hosted.
That's right.
So here, if you're in Northern Virginia, I've now completed my 2nd vintage computer meetup.
So impressed.
It was great. We had the big room this time, so I didn't make that mistake again. We had more stuff in it than we did the last time. It was great. I still think we had about 30 people-ish or so.
Unbelievable, Ryan. That is great.
I made sign-up sheets this time, and 16 people signed up and said, "Hey, this is who I am." And some of them actually listed some of the hardware they brought on top of that, which is really cool. I got some photos. I will be posting a blog entry. It just didn't happen because this happened a little before Thanksgiving, and I'll be honest, I wasn't motivated to put it all together before the Thanksgiving break.
Oh, yeah.
So now I'm starting to dig out the paperwork that people did. I got some photos. I'll be putting that up on a blog post on my website. And I think Rich, you have a link in. We're gonna post one of, hey, this is where my next one is, and then I put a link to the previous one, but it's easily findable on my website as well. So I'll have a little write up and a couple photos that I'll be posting.
First time, I know you took the 1200, right?
I took a 2000 for the first trip. Yeah.
And how many other people brought stuff your first time?
It was pretty full as well. I would say we started a smaller room that held, I don't know, like 18 people. We blew through that space within 30 minutes. So this one was an hour longer. I would say there was at least 30 different machines there. Some people brought more than one. Oh yeah, I'll get you some photos.
I'm gasping. That's awesome.
It's this time we had a lot more Amiga stuff as well. This trip, I took my Amiga 1000. We haven't talked about it yet. We'll talk about that in a future episode. But I had restored that 1000, took it with me, and it's got some upgrades as well now. There was a 1200 there. Unfortunately, I missed the guy. I didn't see that one. There was also a 3000 remake board, which I was really... So people have figured out the 3000 board, and they did a remake. So they're building new ones. So you can transfer your chips if your old 3000 got battery bombed, and so you can get it all back together.
That's incredible.
Oh yeah, there was a 4000 as well. Someone reverse engineered the 4091, which was for Amiga World, a Zorro 3, which is the fastest expansion SCSI card, because the Amiga 4000 switched to IDE, so there wasn't a SCSI controller on it. So they got that. That was there. There was there in the Amiga 3000. There's a upgraded chip that handles a lot of the bus arbitration and a lot of the data DMA moving around. And someone has reverse engineered the version 4 of that chip, or version 3.5. They're working on it right now, and it goes inside of a 3000 and fixes an amazing amount of data errors. So he had a FPGA version of that in that 3000 board.
Geez, what a great group of items to have at your meetup. This is amazing. I'm so glad the traction that you're finding with folks that are there. I know I looked at your post the other day, and it was people were like, thanks, Ryan, for coordinating. Someone was like, first time, had a great time. Those are good comments that keep you motivated.
Oh, yeah, this is great. I loved it. I'm looking forward to doing them again. Will be sometime in the, probably spring 2025. I'm staying away from VCF East timeframe. And there was there was a Commodore 64, a dual SID Commodore 64.
Ooh.
They had two SIDs in it, so they got stereo out of it. I know it was an Apple II GS, Ataris, some older PCs, a 286 portable. Guy had an S1 S100 or S1000 from I guess that's late 70s, and it had a prototype board in it that he got and had to reverse engineer it to get it to work, so it did music and things. Whoa. It was really, really cool.
People are so smart.
It was great. Guy brought a projector, and he was projecting on, instead of a monitor, it was projecting on the one wall a little bit. There was a lot of stuff there. It was just amazing. The write-up will be coming soon. I'll hit some more and post a lot of photos, and you can I'll edit them a little bit and get them all up there. So we can
Well, when
share.
you got the blog post ready, we'll kick the tires a little bit in our podcast just to bring it up again and maybe look at a few at the same time. While you were doing all that, I was working on programming, right? I know as you were in Texas, you helped me find out that I missed lines in the program for the Nielsen papers. Got that done, got it up on my GitHub. And then
awesome.
as I'm driving Ryan to the airport, he's talking about, you can do a method where you remember where you are in plus and minus, north, south, east, and west. Unbelievably, folks, that was the next example adventure I did.
That's awesome.
In the book, the Golden Chalice works off of a grid format, 9x9 or something like that. And as you go up, it's plus 10. As you go down, minus. And then it's plus 1 to the right, minus 1 to the right. So it was beautiful. And I just had such a great time programming it because I already had such a great idea of the concept from our conversation.
Yeah.
And I even built in, as I was testing, I built in a few places where it was reporting to me numbers so I could kind of see the row and things. And
good.
Yeah, it's really neat. When you find a torch, it lets you start seeing what room number you're in. So then you can even start deducing what's going on.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
It was really neat. So, and I did that programming. I wrapped it up leading up to Thanksgiving. It was really slow at work. And no one at work listens to our podcast, so I'm really safe.
Sure.
I got my C64 Maxi. I hooked it up to my main monitor at my work desk. I put my work on the side monitor. And then I grabbed the D64 I'd been working on, moved it to the USB thumb drive, and went into classic mode. I have never programmed on the Maxi until this event. I'd always played with it here and there. It worked really good, Ryan, just because every key is perfectly responsive. Everything you do is no doubles or misses. Because no matter how much I clean the keyboard, I still run into little problems, right? You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
The space bar always wants a good hit in the center, not out on the edge,
Right.
And that just could be the way it is. But using the Maxi was really nice, very responsive. Awesome. And, I didn't also have the fear of, wow, I wonder if it's going to break today when I turn it on, which is.
Yeah. Hey, you break it, you got to fix it. And that's more content for us. I love it.
I know. But that's always the fear. You even referred to it earlier that you hadn't turned it on for a while.
I know,
right?
Now
you had to do the work. And I laughed because that's how I was feeling with the Maxi was I'm using a C64 that's not going to break. Now, it's not true hardware, blah, 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 blah. But I had a really good time. It was really fun to finish it up that way. And it was those dead couple days that no one's working, but you got to be there because the rest of the team is off work and you're just covering if any sales question comes up, you can handle it. So it worked out really well, man. So that led me into a great Thanksgiving, except for the cold afterwards, which you had. So even though we were nowhere near each other, we both got a cold.
I heard that was going around, and it is what it is. So that's awesome. I love hearing about doing your development and getting that to work, and that's phenomenal. Love it.
Well, dude, you're going to be hearing about my game next podcast because I've decided I'm ready to branch into my first choose your own adventure version. So it's going to be on the rails, right? It's not going to be off the rails. It's going to be on the rails. But I'm going to work with my ghost sub, my returns. I'm going to work with maybe some flags. I'm going to kind of work with it a little bit and see about incorporating a couple or 3 cool techniques I've been learning in a very linear fashion. Oh, Ryan had to bring up a choose your own adventure book.
I mean, these are on the rails as well because you look on the back and there's a flow chart.
Yeah.
So
that's why I called it that choose your own adventure because it will totally be on the rails. If you're at and it's going to be about launch day for the Voyager probe. So it'll work with someone at home at the space station and then getting to a successful launch. Not going to be super long. I've been writing a lot of my text blocks in Google just to kind of get them written and work through my ideas and build my flow chart. I've been building my flow chart on Google. So what you showed me on the back of the book, I have up in Google.
That's phenomenal. I'm looking forward to seeing it, and I actually want to play it.
Well,
I can bring up Vice and bring up a 64 emulator, and
well,
then we can talk about it. I
I'll
want to
have
see
to
this.
make an Amiga version
You could.
to do. Yeah. And this is all about getting to assembly. I just got to get through basic and then start working on some assembly ideas. So it was fun.
Yeah. Use whatever language works. If Basic works for you, use Basic. Who cares?
Yeah, but I really want to touch some assembly. I really want
Well, see, what you can do is write your game in Basic first,
Yeah.
and then rewrite it in assembly, the same game in assembly. And then you can say, this is what it's supposed to do. Do you get the same behavior with the other language?
That's genius for this simple little one because it isn't going to be crazy. It's going to be a very simple, straightforward, small game. That's what you want. Ryan, I'm glad to have you around as a friend. You got great ideas all the time.
Hey, occasionally I get them. Can't say that I always do, but I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to hearing about your adventure with it. I think that'll be great.
Well, hopefully we'll see you poking around in some more software soon. But
that's the plan.
Until then, I think, is anybody hanging out still? Or is anybody, dear listener, is anybody, Larry, you there? Anyone there? Anyone? Just like, comment, subscribe.
Exactly. Love it. I appreciate you all coming along and for our adventures, and looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you all.
Bye.